Hola, buenas tardes. Gracias a todos por acompañarnos. Mi nombre es Mónica Rodríguez. Yo soy coordinadora regional de admisiones para Domus Academy en Latinoamérica y en Norteamérica. Y bueno, les voy a platicar un poco hoy acerca de Domus Academy, de la experiencia de estudiar ahí. Y bueno, tenemos una invitada especial que en un momento voy a presentar. Bueno, esto también es gracias a la Cámara de Comercio Italiana en México, que nos está ayudando a que esto sea posible. Y bueno, pues muchas gracias nuevamente por acompañarnos. Bueno, Domus Academy es una escuela que está ubicada en Milán, Italia. Es una escuela que es especializada únicamente en programas de posgrado. Nosotros ofrecemos solamente maestrías, esa es nuestra especialidad. Y hace más de 40 años que Domus trabaja con estudiantes que están especializándose en las áreas de negocios, moda, diseño y experiencia. Entonces, bueno, tenemos una manera muy particular de trabajar que nos hace una escuela única, y eso es que trabajamos en colaboración con empresas. Tenemos diferentes maestrías de cada una de esas áreas que les dije. Tenemos en total 13 maestrías, y en todas ellas se trabaja en colaboración con una empresa en cada módulo. Son 5 módulos, y en cada módulo el estudiante tiene la oportunidad de trabajar con una empresa que está obviamente enfocada en el área en la que están estudiando. Entonces tienen esta oportunidad de poder interactuar con empresas reales que están, algunas en Italia, otras son ya conocidas internacionalmente, y al final pueden hacer prácticas profesionales. El trabajo en Domus es siempre colaborativo, es interdisciplinario, porque además pueden trabajar con otras áreas. Si a lo mejor están en el área de diseño de modas, tienen la oportunidad en un punto de trabajar con las personas, puede ser, no sé, de diseño de fashion management, o de diseño de producto, o de diseño de negocios. Depende del módulo en el que estén, del taller que estén tomando y de la empresa con la que vayan a trabajar. Al final se hacen prácticas profesionales, lo cual también les da un acercamiento mucho más real, importante, con una empresa, y los puede ayudar a colocarse en alguna de esas compañías para que puedan quedarse a trabajar. Nosotros somos una escuela reconocida por el Ministerio de Educación italiano. Entonces esto les ayuda a que puedan trabajar mientras están estudiando, y que al terminar la maestría se puedan quedar un año más a trabajar en Italia. ¿Okay? Entonces, bueno, esto es a muy grandes rasgos cómo funciona Domus Academy, pero el día de hoy estamos aquí porque viene desde Italia, desde Domus de Milán. Viene con nosotros Gaia Calabró, que es nuestra directora de maestría, o nosotros le llamamos Program Leader de las maestrías en Fashion Management y Luxury Brand Management, y ella hoy nos va a presentar una masterclass súper interesante. Al finalizar vamos a tener una sesión de preguntas y respuestas, y bueno, también si nos quieren acompañar, tenemos un pequeño refrigerio afuera para que si gustan compartir con nosotros mientras respondemos a sus preguntas. Y muchas gracias, los dejo con Gaia. Muchas gracias, Gaia.
Gracias. I switch to English. I'm sorry, I'm not expert in Spanish. Thank you, Monica, for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. As Monica said, introducing me, I'm in charge of 2 masters. And the idea of today is to understand the logics and the dynamics that are behind the luxury, because luxury is not only fashion. And this is why we wanted today to talk about some of the main and the most important trends that are impacting the luxury sector, that are not regarding fashion only. So I will be more than happy to share with you which are, according to us, the most interesting trends, and to show to you some insights. Why I decided to define it why I decided to define it unexpected, because somehow we have an idea that is connected with the idea of fashion that most of the time is related to high price, that is related to high price product with high quality. But what I want to share with you today is a journey through which are the new way of purchasing of the new generation mainly. And what I want to share with you is how luxury has and is more than before impacting different industries. I want to go through unlocking new avenues of growth and the attitude that our customers have towards luxury, new and the existing one. First of all, luxury goes far beyond what is the consumption of a product. It is more than owning a product itself. It's not the ownership isn't anymore, but it is about experience. And being related to experience, it means that we need to consider how luxury can resonate with different values that most of the time we define as untangible. We used to think about luxury connected with heritage, connected with craftsmanship. Probably one of the most interesting aspects that being Italian I can bring with me is the idea of the values of the quality that is connected with made in Italy as well. These are all intangible values that are used for brands to create unique experience. Why unique and why it resonates with different industries? Because we can say that luxury nowadays finds its opportunities across several industries that I want to touch today to show how they are practically highlighting some of these intangible values in different industries. And the first one that I want to talk about is home design. Home design, and we see some examples here with Versace, with Fendi. These are brands that we are normally known as luxury brands working with fashion. So the core is apparel, and the core is accessories. Why home design? Because high net worth individuals today are really spending more on home design than before the pandemic. Why that? We had a shift in our behavior. Everyone has faced the moment when we needed to stay home. And what it was interesting about that is that now we care a lot about the place where we stay more than before. This has impacted on the attitude of customers, and we can see that affluent shoppers in United States, UK, and France say that they are spending more on furniture, decor, and textile, according to a research that has been presented by Business of Fashion in April 2023. Sales in home and hospitality categories will grow at a compound rate of approximately 7% through 2026. And I think that what it is really interesting is that when we think about the new behavior and the new shift after the post-pandemic, we can see that there has been an increase in all these categories: home design, health and fitness, beauty, bar and cafe, cinema and streaming, video game and console. But the one that has shown the highest percentage is the home design, where we can see we had a 21% increase in sales compared to the previous period of the pre-pandemic. Home design has gained wallet share since the pandemic, but most of everything, we can see that the customers luxury customer are investing in what has been defined, I love this definition, experiential goods. And when it comes to home design, another interesting highlight that I'm taking with me from this report is that during the interview, these customers had some of the most well-known brands as the one that they invested a lot in. It's very interesting because among the first 20, there is only one brand that is non-luxury. We have Dior as the first one. We have Chanel, Gucci, Hermes, Ralph Lauren, Louis Vuitton, Versace, Armani, Prada, Saint Laurent, and then we have the only non-luxury, which is Zara. What this means for the industry? It means that a brand like Zara, that is mass market, that is fast fashion, by creating products that answer to the most interesting trends, and creating products that are really minimalistic, that can really look at the very high-end brand, they have created their own identity, and they resonate in the mind of the consumer for what concerns just Zara Home as a premium brand. So it is a way to elevate the brand. It is a way to attract new customers, and even the ones that are investing their money in high-end products, they can find in the Zara Home a product that is it is nice, it perfectly fits in their home, while at the same time gives the opportunity to be changed very easily. And this is another aspect that is really important for our consumer when it comes to experiential goods. Then I want to move to another industry that is growing a lot and is really connected with fashion and with luxury, with lifestyle. That is food together with hospitality. Let's focus on food just a moment. Why food? Because we are seeing that industry is nowadays capitalizing on the new gastronomic love of consumers. And luxury houses are creating, or at least they are looking to create new touch points through which they can connect with their target audience through a natural outlet in food ingredients and the culinary segment. Here I show you some picture of very interesting cocktails that are considered the most expensive cocktails in the world, that are between $10,000 and $12,000. When I talk about dollars, is US dollars, okay? They come together with, of course, I'm sure is a unique experience, but what makes them so expensive? It is the usage of unique ingredients. We can find for example, some cognac that is from 1858, so it's very, very old cognac, and just with a small shot is $3,000 worth. But what it is more interesting about that, because we say that we are connecting it with experience, is the fact that it is very used to present a unique proposal, marriage wedding proposal. Example, like in the case of Forever Martini, where we have a diamond in the cocktail. So this is what makes it very interesting. But at the same time, because it's not always gold what shines, we have to think and consider how these brands, or in general, the brands that are investing in luxury segment, are making this business sustainable and scalable over time. Because these are really interesting examples. But if you investigate a little further, you will see that two of the bars that were proposing these unique cocktails are not open anymore. So this is the question that I want to bring today. It's not only looking at the niche product or the niche experience, but it's at the same time creating something that can engage a customer, that can over time become a loyal one. So it doesn't have to be one shot, never. While it seems that most of the unique products and experience that we have faced until now had this intent. Now this is not any longer the case. And this is why we are facing new approach and collaboration. One interesting example when it comes to food is Casablanca. I don't know if you are familiar with the brand. Casablanca Paris is a French brand that has collaborated with a caviar house. It is Caviar Caspia, very well known in Europe, and not only, because they have a flagship store in Dubai and in Los Angeles and New York as well. Sorry. And in New York as well, I was saying. So they collaborated together. What they had in common was this Parisian elegance that was a kind of link to connect the two. And on one hand, we had Casablanca creating a capsule collection of 10 pieces of ready-to-wear, together with the caviar that is sold right now on the e-commerce of the Caviar House, and of course in their restaurant and flagship store. What we have that makes unique the food experience is the fact that, of course, this search for unique ingredients make at the same time the product becoming very expensive, a really high-end with a price that can that normally is not imaginable for a product like in that case, such as chips. So while on one end we can imagine an high price for caviar, is not the same things when it comes to chips. But this brand from Sweden has been able to create once again a product that is giving a unique experience. Why? Because we have in one box different chips with different taste, and all of them with, of course, different ingredients. And even if the price is really crazy, like $12 per chip, it is an experience. It is an experience to live and to share with other friends, with other peers. And last but not least example, when it comes to collaboration, I think that this has been one of the most interesting of the last year. It is of 2019. It was only for the Chinese market. It was a collaboration between McDonald's and Alexander Wang to create a picnic lunch box. In that case, it was this box that you can see in the picture that was co-branded, so it has a leather tag with the two brands. And what it is interesting is that it has been sold in really 10 minutes. So it was a capsule, of course, because when we talk about luxury products, most of the time we connect it with another untouchable value. It is exclusivity. And when it's what it is the most exclusive, then unique product. In that case, it was a collection of 300 pieces, so not really small one. But at the same time, selling it in 10 minutes, it means that the collaboration has created so much buzz around it that consumers were ready and were ready to click to buy this unique product, no matter what the price was. And no matter what it was, the brand Alexander Wang was collaborating with. And I think that even the way you communicate can make a difference. We can see here that they are using the McDonald's normally well-known, I'm loving it, turning it in, I'm wanting it, is a really nice way to communicate the brand and to once again use in a co-branding, this is very important, elements that are coming from the two brands. So you have the hamburger with these box that are completely unusual for McDonald's, together with the communication that is really connected with the brand. Together with food, so we have to talk about hospitality. They are connected. They are very connected. And what it is really interesting nowadays is that hotel and dining extension can really provide affiliation between brands and the customer, creating this immersive experience. What it is really interesting is that transforming as visual aesthetics from fashion to interior design is the first task of these brands. And they have to use it to reinforce the identity of the brand, to make the DNA to be present in every single detail. And we know that this is a rule for luxury brands, to master all the details and to be careful about every single aspect. What we have as an example is connected once again with fashion, turning it into a lifestyle experience. We have Muccio Osteria in Florence, for example, or the Tiffany Blue Box Cafe at Harrods. What is important to highlight once again, because as I said at the beginning, it's important to connect it with the direction that the business is taking. While we have Muccio Osteria, that is a flagship store, of course, completely handled by Gucci. What it is interesting about the Tiffany Blue Box Cafe within Harrods is the fact that wholesale distribution, like in that case, a department store as Harrods, is increasingly highlighting the importance of this presence, of the presence of these brands. There are these agreements that are making it not only revenues wise a good deal for the brands, but at the same time, these are more and more connected with what the brand can bring in terms of immersive experience, as we were saying before. We are connecting the target of Harrods together with the one of Tiffany, and we are bringing them together in a common place. So even if you are not going to buy any Tiffany products, you are going to live a unique experience that is somehow sponsored by Tiffany within the Harrods department store. And then when we talk about hospitality, there is an increased need for exclusivity, as I was saying before. And what is more exclusive than a speakeasy? You know that speakeasy started when in the United States there was the prohibition to consume alcohol. And what it is turned today is in a very secret place where you can get in towards invitation. This is really a way to create that atmosphere that is typical of clubs, such as a Soho House, where you have to be invited to be a member, but it's not the only thing, it's not the only aspect. Because you need to have, according to the membership policy, you really need to provide with information about your career and about what you can bring to the club. So what you are bringing to the club, being a member, is the possibility to extend, to expand this membership, this community, that of course needs to be very exclusive. This is the same thing with other clubs like the Core that you probably heard about, is the most exclusive club that exists nowadays in New York and in Milan. And of course, it's not only the fee that you need to pay to enter, but it's even the fact that you really need to be recommended by someone that is already a member. And now, moving forward with what it is the unexpected journey that I promised, let's move to another industry. Okay, I think that for food and hospitality and for what concerns the home design and home decor, yes, it is unexpected, the fact that we are increasingly seeing brands investing in these areas. But what it is new for pets, for example, is that it can really be considered today to be part of the luxury segment. Why that? Why we can consider pets and pet care as part of the luxury segment? Because according to some data in 2022, we have seen only in the United States the huge amount of $136.8 billion that has been spent. That is 11% more than the previous year. The highest spending categories as well will see an increase in pet care, an increase of 60.2%, accordingly to the American Pet Products Association. But what it is really interesting is that we have a specific target of people between 18 and 24 years old that are paying twice the amount on their pets than over 55 years old. There is this increase on millennials investing in pet care. That regards luxury beds, toys, gourmet treatments, grooming, and even technologies for the surveillance of their animals, their pets. And luxury brands like Prada and Versace have launched pet collections, and at the same time we have seen this increase for high spending product like Hermes dog bowls and some poop bag with a really crazy price. What it is interesting is that we are looking at new brands that are startup, that are creating their own brand. We have some example in Italy. We have some example of really niche brand that are using their expertise and craftsmanship in leather goods to invest, to turn into a product that are taught for these small friends of us. Pet owners are also willing to spend more on tech, as I was saying, because it is true that now we moved towards an hybrid way of working. So most of us is not spending anymore the full week in the office, but at the same time, the days that we are spending in the office and we are outside our house become the moment when we want to be sure that our animals are safe. And this is why tech companies are increasingly investing and proposing new products that in that sense can be used. And then I move to the last industry that I want to talk about, that is the beauty. That has seen an increase. I mean, it's not new that luxury brand invested in beauty products. And it is true that for the consumer that didn't have the spending power to buy a Dior or a Chanel, it was always the beauty product, the one that we use it to invest in, to connect with the brand somehow. What it is changing now? Why it's so important to consider the beauty as a new frontier of luxury? Because we have assisted in a shift, again, even in that case. There is a new definition of beauty that is reshaping the market. This is connected with the consumer behavior that are moving from aesthetic perfection to holistic well-being. So investing in this idea of self-care, mindfulness, this is what brands are doing. This is what it is, the expectation and the need of the consumer nowadays. And this is why we can see in the pyramid that there are different segments that we can consider together with the ultra luxury and luxury, and the ultra luxury and the true luxury, that can consider that are increasing a lot. So we have still the brands that have a prestige approach, like Dior, and then we have brands like Guerlain, like La Prairie, like La Mer, and Byredo that are investing in this segment. As I said, the one that we can consider as the most luxurious one are true luxury, that includes products that retail for hundreds of dollars and can generate strong profit and high volume, even if referring to a niche customer yet. But at the same time, we have ultra luxury, where we have a level up that includes products that retail for $1,000, and here we can find the exclusivity and the quality, and another important element, the scarcity. What scarcity means? It means to create a product that is almost unique, that can be really considered like the haute couture for fashion. You know that haute couture used to work directly with the customer, to have one product that it was only one, created for this customer only. This is the same approach that ultra luxury beauty has, creating the perfect product that match your skin, your needs, and that is, of course, worth the price. Here we have some examples that come from the two combined segment of the pyramid together that will amount for up to $20 billion during the years and by 2027. So that is increasing a lot. What it is, very I define it as breaking news because it's a news of 2 days ago. Kering buying Creed. I don't know if you heard about that, but Creed is a French brand that is a fragrance brand. And why Kering decided to invest in that specific segment? Because they want to reinforce their positioning in the beauty, in competition, of course, with LVMH and with Hermes. This is another interesting aspect we can reflect on, again, from the business point of view, which I care a lot about. The fact that brands are little by little bringing in-house products that were normally on licensing. Think about the eyewear. Think about the beauty. So they are investing in and bringing in-house the expertise of these brands or of their outsourcer they were working with in order to reinforce their positioning. Because for a luxury brand, more than for any other brands in the market, it is paramount to have a full control of the whole supply chain. The supply chain becomes the way they have to create that exclusivity that is not only related to the final customer, the way they connect it to the final customer, but that starts since the very beginning with the design and the production. So this is why we are looking at these changes, and this is why we have to keep an eye on what it is happening right now, because it's the same approach that started almost 8 years ago with the eyewear, of brands investing in the eyewear and bringing market share of Essilor or Marcolin in-house. Moving to the second part, that is unlocking new avenues of growth. I wanted to summarize what we have seen until now as an examples in one sentence. So luxury brands are maximizing the opportunity to extend brand universe with new and fresh narrative. Think about the importance of some business models. One of the most interesting ones that we are assisting to is the resale one. We have seen Vestiaire Collective, and we are seeing brands investing in resale. Why that? Why pre-loved products, pre-loved goods are so important? Because when we talk about the new generation, the one that luxury brands are trying to attract, like Generation Z, they are attracted by what has an history. They are attracted by that product that really can tell a story, but at the same time is attractive because it is connected with what it is very important today, that is the sustainability. So having the resale increasingly investing in the brands increasingly investing in resale, it means that they are really giving a message, delivering a message about this idea of the circular economy becoming real. And we can say that we can bring resale into a smooth experience, a seamless experience within overarching marketing strategy that will boost visibility. This means that together with the collection, together with the still importance of spring, summer, and fall, winter, we need to take care about a longer life that we can give to our products. And one of the most interesting examples is connected to this. Going back to the idea of reinforcing the identity of the brand, archive are one of the most used tools, let's call it like that. Let's say that it is becoming more and more a touch point for the brand to invest in the future, keeping an eye to the past. Why that? Because this is creating credibility. This is creating trust. There is this very interesting and recent presentation of the Guerlain archive. For the first time in their history, Guerlain has presented their archive with this nice lipstick that has quite a modern shape. If you consider that has been created in 1870, and it is still a shape that we can find close to the one that we have in the shop, in the stores right now. While looking at the archive, why luxury brands are using that to tell their stories. Think about the generation again, Gen Z, or even generation Alpha, that they are trying to connect with through social media, through gamification. Think about Balenciaga, for example, through all these huge investment in metaverse and NFT. So all these aspects connect with what they have of authentic, and bringing this authenticity is what helped them on the other end to connect with their loyal customers that are not the generation that we talked about. The loyal customer needs to find this connection through the reliability of the brand and its values. When we think about new avenues of growth, we think about reevaluating the ordinary. This is what it's really an interesting approach that we can see in most of the brands that are today dealing with this balance between older generation and new generation attraction. Look at what a brand like Off-White has created. So making ordinary items like umbrella very fancy, very glamorous, and at the same time starting with the positioning that it was premium, arriving to become a brand considered luxurious. Why that and how is possible? Think about Cartel. Cartel is an Italian design brand that has a 50 years history, and its fortune is related to plastic. But if you look at the way they present plastic items, the best well known are their sets. You see and you understand what it means to go beyond what it is the ordinary and make it glamorous and attractive. And this is connected with collectibles as well. When we think about the attraction that some items that have an old-fashioned approach can become a unique design piece when a luxury brands take it and turn it into a unique piece. At the same time, there is this attraction to the products that can be considered as vintage habits. Let's think about the Pokemon cards or the vinyl records and even stamps and coins that are coming back as a collectible is attracting once again a younger audience. And then we cannot think about luxury without talking about services. Why service is so important? Because it's what makes the difference between an ordinary brand or product or an ordinary retail experience with an extraordinary one. Consumers today want to feel unique, and they want what it is more incredible, a one-to-one conversation with the brand. They can have a one-to-one conversation. Think about the social media, what they have done. They have given voice to the customers, and they expect to be heard and to have an answer coming from their brands, their favorite brands. And this is how this dialogue works. So creating a unique service that are taught really to answer to needs of the customer, to their expectation, it's something that will change the rules of the game in the near future. And again, talking about unexpected, think about these unique events and how they have created around that platforms that are investing in something that you couldn't expect in the past, like luxurious portable restroom trailers. Why this kind of thing is needed? Because if we invest again in the service that is high-end and is addressed to niche target, everything has to be perfect and everything has to be created in every single aspect. So what I suggest every time to my students when they research for a new brand or for new opportunities is to look at the gap that are present in the market. So this research and analysis is the most important one before even proposing some new solutions. Because whatever you learn coming from this benchmark with other industry can be brought to your own project or idea or to your specific market. We are looking to an increase in partnership. This is another insight that I want you to reflect on. Brands that are investing, and this is in the merger and acquisition is very important, that are investing in brands like VMH has done with Bickerstock in order to increase the value of the brand and to make it even more glamorous. This is what is really upgrading the global platform and network with new opportunities, and brands are looking at a new way of expressing this collaboration. We were used already to what is called massetage. So the mass market collaborating with high-end designers in order to reach a wider target. H&M with brands like, yes, Versace or Stella McCartney and Jimmy Choo and so on. But think about this collaboration. This could work when the unique touch point that we had, or almost the unique one, was the retail, so physical store, where we had people queuing up since the night before in order to be the first to arrive to the store, to enter the store, and to have this bracelet that was their way to the event. Okay, but most of the time they where even if they couldn't enter this exclusive collection and these exclusive sales, they were so excited about the full experience that they were talking and generating a lot of word of mouth around that for months, waiting for the next collection. Now things are completely changing. Something like that cannot exist anymore with the digital, with this approach that is an omni-channel one, because all these expectations are around a surprise, let's say, that cannot be easily reached. And so consumers are really open to new experience, to regional ideas, but it is true at the same time that this flexibility has changed and reshaped completely the market. Why I'm saying that this is not possible anymore? Because what it was before, an experience that we did for ourselves, now it is the place where you have to be to have this product, because probably then you are going to resell it online on the many platforms that are available to the highest price possible. And this is what is really making difficult for the brands to invest in new opportunities, because these customers are really demanding. Their expectations are very high. They expect high quality, and they expect the finer things in life. And the personal luxury goods industry is expanding, following these models and these expectations in order to become more and more attractive. So to try to have some conclusion, let's say, we're seeing some commodities becoming premium. And if we take the examples that we have seen before with the business models and with the collaborations, we see how a chewing gum or even a bottle of water can become premium if there is a designer, or in that case, not a designer, but Chiara Ferragni, the very well-known Italian influencer. She has created an empire. Everything that she does, chewing gum, Easter eggs, there is something, no, these are the strangest. I cannot think about anything that is more strange than these two. Everything become premium just for the fact that there is this touch, this name. What there is special is not changing the water. Yes, she collaborated with Evian as well. So I think that the Evian with Chiara Ferragni was one of the examples of Evian being so premium, is already premium water, but becoming even more premium thanks to this collaboration. So this is really important to focus on. It is true that generation Y, Z, and Alpha will become the biggest buyer of luxury by far. This is important to keep in mind. This is the direction the luxury brands are taking. But at the same time, what I wanted to think about is of new solution that can merge this expectation with products that really are really are innovative somehow, because what is important to understand and to think every time about, these are, as I said before, aspirational targets. We have to think about the target that is already the one that we are looking at. If you talk with any luxury brands, they will tell you it is important to have a target in mind. It is important to have these target personas and to define it. Of course, it is important. It is the starting point of the marketing, right? But at the same time, what it is more important is to have a customer-centric vision. And really, this idea of having a dialogue and a one-to-one expectation or experience, it is what the customer has asked for, and it is what it is receiving back. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Aya. Bueno, pues como les decía, ahora vamos a tener una sesión rápida de preguntas.